Good morning. Good morning. This is a vibrant and busy time at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. So before we formally begin our worship service, we invite you to lend your attention to a few brief announcements that will let you know some ways to get involved in the life of the church. Each Sunday, one of our caring companions is designated to be available at the front of the sanctuary after the service to listen to any immediate pastoral needs and assist you with connecting to additional pastoral support. Today's caring companion is Ann Edwards. Ann, could you please stand and wave your arms? You gotta wave your arms. Thank you. Today we celebrate the Valentine this church gave to itself by giving the funds to our continuing capital campaign that we needed to pay off our construction loan. Today, during our service, we symbolically burn our note, and then we will celebrate in House and Hall after the service by having, of course, cake and having no speeches. Okay. Would you like to get more involved in First UU community? You can get connected with church groups, activities, and/or service opportunities that match your interests, skills, and time availability by engaging in a conversation with a member of the First UU Connections team. To request a conversation, email connections@austinuu.org to learn more about our active church groups and ministries. We look forward to hearing from you. The Texas Unitarian Universalist Legislative Action Day at the Capitol is on March 17th, 2025. This is a day when UUs from around the state gather at the Capitol to meet with legislators to advocate for specific issues they support. We use our collective voice to help influence legislation. We invite everyone to attend. See the link to register in the Friday newsletter, and please do so by next week. First UU will make our voices heard at the Capitol during this legislative session. On Sunday, February 23rd, Equality Texas will provide a short training session on how we can speak up for our values by testifying, dropping a card, and contacting our representatives. That's going to be Sunday, February 23rd from 1 to 2 o'clock in room 13. First UU and Unwound Sound are proud to present master fingerstyle guitarist Hiroya Tsukamoto on Sunday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. here in our sanctuary. Tsukamoto's performances are a mesmerizing fusion of intricate fingerstyle guitar and evocative storytelling, weaving lyrical narratives with breathtaking melodies. Hailed for his ability to create an orchestra at his fingertips, Tsukamoto's music transcends cultural boundaries, offering audiences a deeply immersive experience filled with emotion and artistry. Our very own Brent Baldwin opens the show, and a free will offering will be gratefully accepted, with all proceeds benefiting the Austin Sanctuary Network, an organization that supports immigrants fleeing violence and those at risk of deportation. On each Sunday, we light candles in the sanctuary and along the windows to mark sacred moments in our lives. Although we do have a set time during worship to note these candle lightings, you are invited to light candles at any time before or during the service when you feel moved to do so. If knowing that it may help keep our service time shorter, hint, hint, That is perfectly okay. Now, let all who have gathered in beloved community, whether in virtual space or in person, join our spirits in worship together.
Good morning. Whether you're joining us online over public access television or here at the church, welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. We are a spiritual community dedicated to a free and responsible search for truth, meaning, and beauty. I'm Reverend Chris Jimmerson, co-lead minister. I am 6 foot, wearing a fabulous rainbow stole, and I am feeling particularly energetic and joyful today for a man of my advanced age. My pronouns are he, him. It's a joy to be with you today. And if you'd like even more spiritual community in your life, please also join Reverend Carrie Holly Hurt, Texas UU Justice Ministry Ministerial Intern, Bis Thornton, and our own kitchen and congregational life guru, Aubrey Moore, for our upcoming Vesper service with dinner and an exploration of one of our hymns. We'll begin with a vegan meal at 6:30 on Tuesday, February 25th. We can't wait to learn with you. I especially want to welcome you if you're new to the congregation. If you're joining us remotely, and if you can, please say hello in the comments and let us know from where you're watching the service. If you're here in person, please join us for the social hour after worship. Either way, we invite you to fill out our online visitor form so we can get to know you just a little bit better. You just go to austinuu.org, click on worship, and then scroll to the link to find that form. Here, we welcome everyone, every beginning and path, every beautiful expression of human flowering, all pronouns, all the ways and ones we love, all abilities or disabilities, each and every one of you. You are welcome here. You belong here. We come from a long tradition of sensing that a divine river of love flows through every person and that in turn we are its tributaries. It's in this tradition, our living tradition, that I invite you to greet the holy among us this morning, either by turning to those around you here in the sanctuary or in the comments online. Let us greet the holy among us.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I'm Celeste Padilla. I am happy to be your lay leader today. My pronouns are she and her. I am a Mexican-American woman in my late 50s, wearing a gray and black ensemble. Please join me in the words by which we light our chalice. This is the flame we hold in our hearts as we strive for justice for everyone. This is the light we shine upon systems of oppression until they are no more. This is the warmth we share with one another as our struggle becomes our salvation. Our call to worship today is from the poet Hafiz. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with the love like that. It lights the whole sky. Please rise, either in body or spirit, and let us sing together hymn 1008 from the Teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
Wisdom,
One of the things that holds First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin together as a religious community is that we have a common religious purpose. And for us, that common religious purpose is our mission. The congregation wrote it together, we put it on our wall, and every Sunday during worship we say it together so that we might more readily carry it in our hearts throughout the week. Let's do so now. Together, we nourish souls, transform lives, and do justice to build the beloved community.
Qui sans cesse se regarde
I'd like to invite the young and the young at heart to come forward for our Time for All Ages. And as Gretchen, our board president, makes her way forward also, I want to show you this is a copy of our expired now construction loan agreement, and we are going to burn this in just a moment.
Come on up, all the young and young at heart. As Chris said, my name is Gretchen Reel, and I am your president. I am wearing a bright red blouse, or a dark red blouse, and I have heart-shaped earrings. I am 5'4" when I'm standing, and just a little bit, and I have mostly brown hair. So thank you for joining me up here. Does anybody remember what we celebrated on Friday? We celebrated Valentine's Day, didn't we? Well, Valentine's Day celebrates romantic love, which is the love between two adults. But some cultures have more than one kind of love. The people that lived in the area we now know as Greece in hundreds of years ago, they had 4 kinds of love. And I'm going to kind of talk about all 4 kinds of love. We're going to have some pictures. And so the 4 kinds of love are romantic love, family love, friendship, and something they called agape. So let me talk through those. So this is the first picture, and I forgot my props. Oh well. So these earrings were given to me by my husband for Christmas one year. And so romantic love is that love between 2 people when they want to make a life together. And so I brought these earrings to demonstrate that. The next kind of love is family love. That's the second slide. And you can see pictures of 2 nearly identical sets of earrings. Well, my mom's birthday was Valentine's Day. And so she often gave me presents on Valentine's Day in addition to us giving her presents. And one year she got matching earrings for the 2 of us. So the red ones were hers, and I'm actually wearing those, and the blue ones were mine, because I wore a lot more blue than she did. Then the third kind is friendship. So this is a big red heart that I have that's made out of glass. It was given to me by a friend, and it was made by a mutual friend of ours. My friend gave it to me at the celebration of life when his wife passed away, and we called her our fairy godmother because she was always doing kind little things for us. And so that's a representation of her to me, and that's friendship love. So the 4th kind is agape. And I chose a chalice to represent this kind of love because the chalice, agape love, is really our love for humanity as a whole. So everybody, our love for everybody. That's really centered to life as a UU. So our new values put love in the center, and it's this agape love that they're really referring to. It's not the love you have for one another, it's the love you have for the world. And so our grown-ups will show agape love when they fight for justice and equity, and a lot of the members of the church do that, and that's one way we show agape love. Another way that the grown-ups of this church have shown agape love is by donating funds so that we can pay off our mortgage, and so that I do have a point, yes. So that we can pay off our construction loan, and that this church will be here for years to come when you're an adult and have little ones of your own, if you choose to do that, and for generations to come. So this is a way that the adults here have shown agape love. And so that's how we're tying in this all to Valentine's Day. So now I'm going to pass the torch, quite literally, to Chris. And he's gonna take that copy of the construction loan. And we are going to set it afire. Woo! Okay, so now I think you can go out to the playground or stay here.
This is the time during the service when we commit to the mission and ministries of this church by making an offering. We give out of our own so that together we might build a better world. If you are visiting with us today, please allow the plate to pass you by. You are our guests. You can give in a few different ways by going to austinuu.org and clicking on the link on the top right side of the page, or by texting your contributions to 84321, or by placing an offering in the baskets the ushers are about to pass. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will now collect the offering. Your offerings have been given in love, and your offerings have been received with gratitude. Our reading this morning is from Still Life with Woodpecker by Tim Robbins. Love is the ultimate outlaw. It just won't adhere to any rules. The most any of us can do is to sign on as its accomplice. Instead of vowing to honor and obey, maybe we should swear to aid and abet. That would mean that security is out of the question. The words make and stay become inappropriate. My love for you has no strings attached. I love you for free.
This is the time in our service where we center ourselves together. We breathe together. And breathing in and out, we sense one another's loving presence, even across virtual space. And breathing together, we follow our breath to a deeper place inside, a place of greater wisdom, that place where a divine river of love flows through us. Breathing in, breathing out, we enter into a time of sacred silence together, remembering that we also hold sacred human sounds, including those of small children. Breathing together, let us enter the sacred silence together. I invite you now to light candles if you're so moved. Candles representing sorrow, joy, hope, remembrance, resilience, whatever may be on your heart at this time. As we light candles, I invite you to keep in your mind and heart members of our community who are ill or in sorrow, as well as those who are celebrating joys. Now we enter into a time of music, candle lighting, and meditative quiet, holding the meditative quiet when our music comes to an end. Happy Valentine's, a couple of days after the actual date. Because I love you all, I'm going to try to keep this a bit shorter than usual today, so we can all go celebrate the retirement of that construction loan, which, of course, as Celeste said, requires cake. And I want to leave plenty of time afterwards for attending the public forum with Reverend Aaron from our Texas UU Justice Ministry after that. Earlier, Gretchen shared with us the 4 types of love, and Valentine's is all about love, particularly the type of love we call eros, or romantic love, as Gretchen mentioned. This was my first Valentine's without my long-term romantic love, Wayne. So I've been thinking and reading a lot about what makes romantic relationships healthy? What makes them work? What made 33 years with Wayne work so well? And unexpectedly, to my surprise and grateful wonder, I have also had a Valentine come into my life recently. So I thought it might be fun and actually soul-nourishing to think together a bit today on what we know about how we might create and sustain mutually satisfying and beneficial eros love. Well, by far, the most common thread I found in the psychological research on the subject is that the partners in mutually life-enhancing romantic relationships establish as their shared goals for their relationship that each person in it fully thrive, fully flourish. They strive to support one another's reaching for their greatest creative potential. That rings true to me. I don't think I would ever have become a minister what I now know is my calling in life if it weren't for Wayne. That is a true gift he supported me in discovering. And for each partner to thrive requires a sense of equity within the relationship. Decision-making is shared and communication is open and honest, even when it is hard. Now, equality and being the same are not the same. So you might be better at cooking and I might be better at organizing the kitchen. And that's okay. We talk up front about who leads what, and we celebrate and we learn from our differences, each of us becoming more creative and more capable because of each other. And by keeping communication open, discussing things up front, no one has to keep a ledger. Equity is built into the ongoing interaction within the relationship. Now, of course, there will still be disagreements, won't there? What successful romantic partners do that help them navigate conflict is that they fight fair. No personal attacks, no avoidance, no shutting down, no storming out of the room, no refusal to forgive. Instead, the focus is on honest communication to identify where the true area of disagreement lies, make it explicit, and then find solutions that each of them can live with, or discover even better, more creative ways of addressing the issue than either of them had come in with in the first place. Here's a few other ways that successful romantic partners support one another's life fulfillment. They infuse a sense of joy, fun, and playfulness into the relationship. For example, they have fun, endearing pet names for one another. They approach their time together with humor. They schedule times to do things they both enjoy together, to play together. They reward each other with compliments and endearments freely and frequently. And they recognize that each of us and each situation may be different as regards what might best support the other. So they make this explicit. Instead of asking, "How can I help?" one New York Times article suggests asking, "Would helping, hugging, or hearing you feel most supportive?" The 3 H's. Recently, we've added a 4th H, Halo Top ice cream. Thriving romantic partners are creative about how they structure their life together. Marriage and family therapist Stephanie Yates Agnobuile says that they throw out the relationship rule book. So for instance, if 2 people have very different traveling styles and habits, is it really necessary that their recreational travel be together? Or if they have very different sleeping habits, is sleeping under the same roof just fine, even if they don't always sleep in the same bed? Several years after my stepdad, Ty, died, my mom met Paul, who has become a wonderful and loving companion with her. They decided not to move in together. They spend part of each week at her home and part at his, sometimes even apart as their lives demand. And they love it. And they love each other. Throw out the rule book. Get creative. Here's one more thing. Psychologist and relationship researcher John Gottman has found that relationships flourish when we pay attention to what he calls emotional bids. Bids are fundamental units of emotional communication. They're when we reach out to a partner and request to connect. They can be big or small, verbal or nonverbal. We can be aware that we're making them or completely unaware. An example of such a bid for connection might be if an avid bird watcher excitedly said to her husband, "Wow, I was just out watering the plants and the most beautiful hummingbird I've ever seen flew right up to me and just hovered there staring at me." Now, her husband may not have much interest in birding himself, but if he recognizes this bid for connection and turns towards it by saying something like, "Really, honey, that's amazing. Tell me about what it looked like." If he does that, he enhances their sense of connection. However, if he turns away, "That's great, honey, I need to finish this report for work," or turns against, "Why do you always interrupt me when I'm trying to work from home?" If he does those things, the connection is thwarted and the relationship may be damaged. Successful romantic partners make these bids often, learn to recognize each other's bids, and turn toward them the vast majority of the time. And that requires us to risk vulnerability with one another. One way Wayne used to make such a bid was to join me if I was on the couch watching TV or in bed reading and just lay his head on my shoulder or upper arm. I came to realize that this often meant he needed to talk about something that was difficult for him. So I learned to say something like, "It's okay. Tell me." And he would. And so we learned to turn toward one another. And so love goes. And so love grows. Well, these are just a few examples I found out there in the literature on love. And it occurs to me that these practices that lead to flourishing eros love are really spiritual practices that could also aid us in our love for friends and family, as well as that divine, unselfish, and unconditional love for all called agape love that Gretchen told us about. Supporting others in coming fully alive. Equity. Open communication. Creative disagreement, valuing our differences. Joy, fun, and playfulness. Hug, hear, help, halo top. Getting creative about the ways we are in relationship. Making and turning toward bids for connection. Mutual flourishing as our goal. All of these, it seems to me, are spiritual disciplines that can move us toward greater love in our lives and living out our core Unitarian Universalist value, that agape love. Maybe eros is just how soulmates help each other practice agape love. Happy Valentine's, my beloveds.
Please rise, either in body or spirit, as we sing together hymn number 95, There is More Love Somewhere.
Keep on
Please join me in the words by which we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
Our benediction today is words by writer and civil rights activist James Baldwin. The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light. Gentle work, steadfast work, life-saving work in those moments when life and shame and sorrow occlude our own light from our view, but there is still a clear-eyed, loving person to beam it back. In our best moments, we are that person for another. May the congregation say, Amen, Amen. And blessed be. Go in peace. Let there be cake.